Hi, I'm Judy May Murphy, and here is where we gather to transform your life from the inside out. How would it be if you didn't feel so hurt quite so much of the time? That's what we're going to be taking care of right now. Today we're going to look at 3 ways that you can turn that around so that you're not sitting in the hurt, you're not dragging it over your entire day, but you're able to recover it quickly, turn around and start working again on your incredible dream. And by the way, if you'd like to join me on Instagram, please do. I would love to see you over there. It's JudyMay_Murphy. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below, or if they're of a more personal nature, you can reach out to info@judymay.tv. The first key is to develop a really strong sense of self. What's that about? Well, when you were little, if you were neglected or abused or things were just too chaotic in your life, the grown-ups didn't do the job of mirroring back to you how awesome you were. They didn't get to say to you, oh, you know what, that was great that you did that. Or they perhaps didn't get a chance to delight in you just when you were running around being a kid. And perhaps as well, it was that you were upset and they didn't get to say to you, hey, you're upset right now and it's okay, you're going to be fine, you're safe. And this can then be brought into adulthood where you grow up feeling like somehow everybody else is more real than you are. And what happens then is that when someone criticizes you or someone tells you that you're bad, you don't have a stronger version of you that kind of can push back against that. They can say, no, that's just your opinion, but I happen to know that I'm a good person. I happen to know that it's okay for me to make mistakes. I happen to know that I'm not broken beyond repair. And this is what puts us into those kind of like dive bomb situations where we can be doing great and then somebody just takes us out completely by saying to us, this is who you are and it's not good. Or at least that's how it sounds to us. This is where journaling is really useful. Julia Cameron calls it meeting yourself on the page. And what it's about is just knowing who you are in that moment. How do I feel? What am I thinking? What do I believe about this? And doing this over time, I suggest every single day. I do it every morning. I like to meet myself first before I meet anybody else, so that my version of me is stronger already than anyone else's version of me. So when you can do that, you can actually meet the criticism from a strong place rather than from a place of being just completely destroyed by it. Key number 2 is to not be too naive about other people's intentions. You've got good intentions. You've got a good heart. You want to support people. You want people to feel good. You want people to get the best results that they can. And so if you're projecting that way of thinking and feeling onto other people, it can be quite confusing. If you believe that someone has your best interests at heart, and then they go in and say something that really feels hurtful, you're going to take that thing as truth. However, if you're aware that a large part of what they're doing with saying that isn't to impart information or to help you to get to a better place, but is in fact to hurt you, to make you feel small, to keep you in your so-called place, then you can defend against it. Then you can say to yourself, you know what? They will press any button, they will do and say whatever they need to do and say to make me feel small. So I'm just going to decide this isn't going to work. This is just a small percentage of the population, but it's often just that 1 or 2%, or those 1 or 2 people in your life who stop you from feeling good and stop you from getting on with your day. So know that not everybody has your best interests at heart. If this is resonating with you, and if you can remember a time where this has happened with you, or maybe it's happening right now, do let me know in the comments below. Key number 3 is to create as much distance as you can between where you are and the person that is hurting you. And it might be that that distance needs to be maintained. This might be someone who you never go back to, or it might be someone who you do go back to. It might be a reasonable person that you can have a conversation with, but not just yet. It could be that your body needs some time to calm down, that your system needs to re-regulate, that you need to remember who you are. Because it might be that you are the kind of person like I was for a very long time, where I was just super reactive. Someone would say something and instantly I would be crying, or instantly I would be, shouting about how unfair it was, or instantly I'd just go and disassociate and go into my little fantasy world to try and cope while being in the proximity of the person who had hurt me. But even now, I will take the space. I will make sure that I'm completely looking after me, that I'm working out how do I feel about that? What do I think about that? What would I like my next step to be? And then only when I'm ready, if I become ready, will I go back into the arena and have that conversation. So knowing how to create and maintain distance in order that you can process this and have the best experience possible, even when someone is saying or doing something that doesn't work for you, this will give you some references for moving forward, knowing that you're not at the whim of just anybody. You can't just be taken out anytime someone feels like it. So now you can see there are 3 things that you can do to make sure that you're not getting so hurt. The first thing, making sure that you develop a rock solid sense of self. The second thing is then knowing that not everybody has your best interests at heart. And the third thing is creating the time and space that you need to process what has happened so that you can get back in there on your own terms. You've got this.